One of my most vivid memories of springtime growing up is driving down this dirt road to this tiny little farm stand that sold asparagus only. You would pick the bunch of asparagus out of this big bucket of water, put it in a little plastic bag, and pay with cash. And so whenever I think of springtime, I think of asparagus. And my favorite ways to cook it are grilled or just simply broiled. Broiling asparagus is so delicious because it's so customizable. You can just put a little salt and olive oil on there, a little lemon juice, or dress it up with some Parmesan or breadcrumbs or whatever you want. So I'm gonna show you this broiled asparagus trick. It's gonna blow your mind. I have 2 bunches of asparagus that I started trimming here. It took me a little work, but this trimming asparagus thing is really, really important. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. I have some asparagus that I didn't trim yet. And so this bottom part of the asparagus is pretty tough. The skin, this outside layer, is gonna be really, really tough, especially when you cook it. So what you need to do is you're just gonna stack your asparagus. You're gonna take that end off because these get really dried out. And then you're gonna take one asparagus, take a veggie peeler, and you're just gonna hold the asparagus. I kind of hold it so that my finger is propping it up and it's not too flimsy. And then you're just going to run your peeler on the outside of the asparagus, spinning it with your hand, just like that, until you see this nice light green part showing on the bottom. And you wanna do about half of the asparagus. This half is not gonna be tough, this half is gonna be tough, so you wanna get all that off. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish my asparagus pile, and then we're gonna get broiling. Whoop, whoop. They're peeled and perfect. So I'm just going to lay these out on my baking sheet in a single layer. I have a lot of asparagus here, but I'm gonna try to make it in a single layer so that way they'll evenly cook. So last step is, obviously if you wanna flavor these with lemon or something else, you can add to your asparagus, but just plain old yummy asparagus is really simple. Just a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt. And that's it. It's time to zhuzh it around. Eric hates when I say that. Zhuzh, 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 zhuzh. I'm just going to rub that oil and the salt on my asparagus so that it's nice and coated. And then we're gonna go over to the oven. I'm gonna show you how to broil this. It's only gonna take about 7 to 9 minutes. How fast? All right, I'm preheating my oven to broil. If you have an option to do either low broil or high broil, you want to do high broil. Try to say broil a bunch of times. Broil, broil, broil. It's like really hard. And I'm going to move my rack to the middle of my oven. Usually it's closer to the bottom. You wanna move it to the middle because the broiler is on the top only, and you want your asparagus to be as close to the top as you can get. So then I'm gonna stick my asparagus in the oven just like that, right in the center, and I'm gonna let them broil for about 7 to 9 minutes until they're bright green and the little tops are a little bit frizzled and frazzled and looking yummy. Woo! It's looking ready as ever. Look at those beauts. Steamy. It's time to try these. Aren't they just so beautiful? They're bright green, but they're a little crispy. They're perfect. I already know. Mmm. Mmm. Tender, cooked perfectly, just the way you want asparagus. You don't want it overdone, so you can really taste the freshness of the asparagus. Mmm. Everything about it, from the top to the bottom. Perfect. Check these out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. This is how I'm feeling today. Yes.